Welcome to another live stream. Helps if you unmute your mic. Gonna get a sip of coffee. Welcome to the chat tonight. Thank you for joining me. Let's get things looking good here. Another week in Life Journey Production Studios. I think I'm Keith. Let's fix the lighting here. Make sure that it is set for this camera angle. So I'm here in the studio. It is another week. It is Tuesday. Welcome to this live stream. I'll try to look in the camera tonight. I have my prompter on this side, so I've got to quit looking at my confidence monitor and look at you guys tonight. So thank you for joining me. If you are live with me tonight and you can't chat, that's because we have subscriber-only chat enabled. So if you subscribe within a minute, you will be able to chat with us, and we would love to hear from you. We've got some familiar faces in the chat tonight. We're going to say hi here in just a minute. I'll give you guys a little bit of an overview of where we're headed tonight. Really just have two parts tonight. We're going to do a little unboxing. I've got my last piece of the puzzle for my Rode Wireless Go 2 kit. So pretty much bought this in pieces, right? I bought the case separately. I bought a wireless transmitter separately. Then I bought the receiver and transmitter separately. So put that all together. Then I bought an adapter, which is in here right now for I'm using it with a new iPhone, which I will be getting pretty soon. It has a USB-C port. So you're going to go from the receiver to USB-C to USB-C into an iPhone. Right now, I need a lightning cable. And so this is the USB-C to lightning cable. So we're going to unbox this tonight. And who knows, I might even hook it up to my phone and we might look at it and see how it works tonight. So I bought a inexpensive adapter on Amazon.com and it did not work. So that's the challenge with just buying a obscure USB-C to lightning cable. It didn't work. This should work with the wireless receiver into my iPhone, and so hopefully it will. You could also use this interface that's in here, the transmitter to the receiver. You can also use this receiver to your laptop or your Mac as an interface. So again, we're going to talk about that tonight. And then the main still image, if you guys saw that tonight, pop that on the screen. The live still image, it's right there. We are going to talk about the media player 10G and give a shout out tonight to my good friend Freddie Ponce, who is on with us tonight. Hi, Freddie. Freddie emailed me a few weeks ago, I think now, asking me a question, and we'll address that after we get to that section. So only planning, my plans may change. Only planning on being on tonight for an hour and a half. So FYI, so we got lots to do, but I do want to say hi to everybody in the chat. I will hit record and we will start recording this just in case I need some clips tonight. I'm only recording the program out tonight. I'm not recording ISOs, and if you don't know what that is, then we'll talk about that in another live stream. Unless that's a question that you want answered, let me know in the chat. Okay, so let's put chat on the air, and let's see here who is here tonight. So David jumped in early, so he gets the best seat in the house. Followed by Chio Walker, and he came in shortly after that. I obviously post these live streams early in the day. Normally, it's between 10 and 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Today, I think I had it up at 9 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. I really got an early start today and got everything ready to post on my YouTube channel. So, and then also I copy links to LinkedIn, copy links to Twitter, copy links to my Life Journey Productions Facebook page. And if you haven't found any of those, if you go to my website, I will copy a link into the chat or into the link in the chat here a little bit, and then you guys can go over there and subscribe. That'll be important because you're going to hear about our Zoom, what are we going to call this? Town hall meeting, and I have a special guest joining us for that. We'll talk about that here in a second. Let me continue saying hi. Freddie. Freddie's in the house. It's good to have you here, Freddie. He says, I'm sure tonight's stream is going to be interesting, good stream. And this really came from a question from Freddie, so we'll touch base on that here in a little bit. I said, you're the catalyst to Freddie, and he responded with this. So it's good to have you here. It's good to have you here, Hank. Welcome home, Freddie, he says. Cool. And sounds like you're getting some decent weather in your neck of the woods, Hank. It's good to have you here tonight. I think David popped back in, so he's saying hello to everybody. We'll continue down here. So I know I have my good audio now, but thank you for that earlier, David. I did say hello with my mic muted and fixed it immediately. Good to have you here, DJ Ware, as always. Great channel. Go check out DJ Ware's channel. Very, very informative. Good to have you here, Joe. Hey, back to you. Well, tonight's video looks extra crisp. Good to know. So let's see here. Tony is here, and we may take a little break and bring in a guest later tonight. I just got to let you know, Tony Ratso is in the other part of the building. I've been so busy today that he did not get brought into the room here with me. So FYI, I will do my best to maybe take a quick break here tonight and go get that little guy. So we'll see. He's about, 30 yards away based on hallway travel. No, I haven't had the prompter on this camera angle for a number of weeks, but that's a great observation. Not really sure why it's crisper tonight. I did mess with my lighting before last week's live stream. So quite bright right now, and that's what you're seeing. I have 3 different brightness settings for 3 different cameras. So if I do turn towards the camera 3, which is right here on my right, then I have a separate light setting for that. And I may have had that light setting on. So what I've been doing is a lot more consulting, however you want to say it. So I have been very busy, and because of that, I've been changing the way I do consulting. I'm using what I fondly call on Tuesday nights the Tony Quick Tech Solutions cam, and only because he said that was his favorite camera angle. So I always give him a shout out when I use that camera, and we will be on that camera view tonight. So sometimes I remember to change the lighting, sometimes I don't. I like to use it in Super Source when I'm showing my laptop, because my laptop's over here and that camera is more right on me. It looks more natural when I cut to that. So we'll do that in a little bit. Yeah, prompters to the side tonight. I'm using my Wacom One tablet right below the It's bigger. It's easier for me to operate. Plus, it's attached to my PC, and that's what I'm using to display chat. I don't use my laptop to display chat. My prompter is plugged into my laptop because I use it in all my consulting and my Zoom calls. Also, if I produce a video or do any voiceover, which I did some voiceover work about 6 days ago for a local radio station for a client of mine. And so I use that view on my laptop. And so that prompter is attached to that. And you could make sense if you're using 2 computers, it makes some sense to have 2 prompters. And I may add another prompter on this camera, which would then be plugged into my PC. And then I could be looking at chat and operating chat from my mouse. But right now I'm using my Wacom tablet, which is a extended screen for my PC. And that's what pops chat up because I'm using the pop-up chat feature through OBS, which is open broadcasting software, and it's free. You can download it, and I'm using that through my upstream key, and that's how I put chat on the air. And if I didn't have that, you wouldn't be seeing these chats pop up. Okay. Let's see here. I see another. Oh, that's DJ Ware's icon. Okay. Good to see you here, Akil. Great to have you. Toto here. Sorry from Germany. I apologize. I always seem to read the channel, but I thank you for putting your name in there. It's good to have you. I think I got everybody. I said hi to, I think, everybody in the chat. Again, if you put a Q in front of a question, it's a lot easier for me, makes the live stream go faster. Because I'm not having to read through all of the comments back and forth between you and each other to find a question and make sure I'm covering it. Let's see. Make sure there's nothing else here. Anybody else popping in? Yes. Thank you very much. Please hit the like button. Always appreciate when you guys do that because it does make a difference. So obviously you're subscribed to the channel or you wouldn't be chatting with me. But if you are watching this and not chatting, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button. I don't monitor the likes when I'm live, but it does help a lot. I've seen more views for every time I have more likes and less views for every time I have less likes. So it definitely impacts the stream. Yeah, I think there's a vote for Ratso to make an appearance tonight. So I would need a 2-minute grace period to get up and go get Ratso later. So we will vote on that 2-minute grace period. Okay, we'll come back to this question, Freddie. That's kind of the question that you asked me. We're going to cover that very thoroughly tonight. Let me just say there's very little video footage information out there. You can watch Grant's video. I actually recorded a clip of just him telling about this device, and we are going to look at that device here a little bit later, but we're going to do a little unboxing before we get there, and I'll address this question, Freddie, so just be patient. I'm surprised your bit rate, your internet. Oh, it's crisper because somehow I'm streaming at a very, very, very high bit rate. So the settings are wrong for some reason in my device. I don't think I can change it while we're live, and I can't. I'm actually on HyperDeck high. So if we lose the stream, that's on me. The picture's crisper because I am streaming at a super high bit rate. That's why it looks so crisp. But I do have up to 100 megabyte a second internet upload. So we'll let it fly. I can't change that right now because you can't change those settings while you are live. I could go off the air and then come back on the air, but I think that will shut down my stream tonight. It's been one of those days, but okay, so let me do a little introduction here, and then I'll take a look down here at what Hank is asking me here. Don't forget, next week, we're going to have a 1-hour live stream. I have a purchase tomorrow that I'll be bringing to that live stream. I may or may not unbox it live because the box is going to be so huge. But I'll say this, after that 1-hour live stream, we are going to be doing our town hall meeting. What is that? That is a gathering on Zoom. So I'll be hosting a Zoom call. It will not be recorded. It will not be live. It will be at about 5. Let's see. We get on the air at 4. It'll be about 5:15. We're going to have about a 10-minute break. Takes a few minutes to roll the outro. So after the 1 hour stream, which will end up being probably about an hour and 12 minutes, counting my intro and my outro, because there's 7 minutes and my outro is about 3. And if I get off the air perfectly on time, then we'll be great. But at quarter after, so 5:15 next week, we're going to do that Zoom gathering, the town hall. So you can come to that. I have a special guest from New York City going to be with us in the chat at some point in tomorrow or next week's live stream. And then that person's going to be in the Zoom call and give us a tour of their location and what they're doing in New York City. One of my clients has agreed to be with us, has never been in a Zoom town hall meeting. And so I'm very, very excited about this guest, very, very, very excited about getting a chance to work with them. They are doing podcasting and live video production using some of the same tools that I talk about here on the channel all the time. But the best part of that is that you're going to get a chance to see the view out their windows. They have a panoramic view of the skyline of New York City from the top of a floor of a building, and the Empire State Building is out one of the windows. So it's going to be quite exciting. And so I'm not sure how, I mean, it should be dark because it's 3 hours ahead of here. So when we get on the air at 4 o'clock and then we do the Zoom gathering at 5:15, it should be plenty dark in New York City. So we're going to be able to see the skyline lit up. It should be really fun. So we're hoping for good weather in New York. So how do you join the Zoom meeting next week? There's a link in last week's live stream. And it's also the same link that you would use if you would like to. I'll put it in the chat right now. So you guys can copy it and bust it out later. I prefer you not to take off tonight if we can keep you from doing that. Let's see. Having issues with the pop-out chat here, so let me pop it back in. And I'll pop this in right now. So if you go over to that link, if you haven't already, if you already have my email, then send me an email saying you'd like to be a part of the town hall. I will send you an invite, add you to the list in that Zoom meeting, and it'll be updated all the way through next week's live stream. And then I'm going to close that as we go off the air. I'll give you the 10-minute break, but that is going to be closed after the 10 minutes. So you'll need to get the invite to that Zoom meeting to join it. But it's going to be exciting to have a special guest and also to hear from you. You guys get to chat with each other. And again, that'll be at 5:15 next Tuesday night. I do usually a quarterly Zoom town hall meeting so that we can get acquainted. You guys can meet each other face to face. So if you'd like to be a part of that, go to that link I just put in the chat and go ahead and fill out the form. I have to have an email in order to send you the invite. And then I don't send out a lot of mailing lists. If we have a special guest or something like that, occasionally I'll send out an email alert of our live stream. So rest assured, you're not going to get bombarded with a bunch of junk mail from me. That's just not how I roll. But I do want to have that email link. So in the comments, say you want to come be a part of the Zoom meeting, Zoom call, whatever you want to call it, town hall meeting. I'll understand that you want to get an invite for next week. Now, if you're not available to be there, then you don't have to worry about sending me an email message. If you think you might be able to and you want to have the link, then go ahead and do that in description, and I will make sure you get to be a part of that. Again, the whole sole purpose of that isn't to promote what I'm doing with clients. I just thought it'd be really cool for you guys to get to see that view and have that guest on with us. And being we're all face-to-face anyway, that guest is going to pop in with the phone and be able to give you guys a tour of that location. And then that guest will be in the chat, and I'll talk more about that next Tuesday during the regular live stream. 1 hour, then a 10-minute break. Then we'll be on together in that Zoom town hall meeting. So, okay, enough commercials about next week. Let's catch up in the chat. Hank says, I remember when you were excited to cross the 100 subscribers. I just noticed that you have over 2,600. Congratulations. Yeah, it's exciting that it's growing. Never knew how much it would grow or how fast it would grow. Grew really fast the last month and a half or so because of mainly my ATEM getting started video. I have another video going up very soon called the Extreme, ATEM Mini Extreme getting started. And it's going to be a little bit more thorough than the ATEM Mini Pro getting started because there's more features, and I want to cover some things that I didn't cover in the ATEM series. And that's blown up on YouTube. A couple of my other videos, but that one's slowly starting to lose momentum. And but thank you, Hank. We are growing, and I appreciate every subscriber and everybody who likes and shares these videos. That really helps. So, yeah, if I have 100 megabytes, perhaps I should stream that high every time. Yeah, I hit that by accident one time, and we were having some issues. So nighttime is when, in the next half hour, that's when a lot of other people jump on this same network. Even though I'm not supposed to be throttled down, sometimes it just throttles because of amount of access available. So if I have any issues tonight, I will figure out how to pop right back on, just FYI. So just stay with me if that happens. So. My internet guy is going to call me. Yeah, he's going to look at the bandwidth and wonder what in the world I'm doing. I'll just tell him I was streaming tonight at 8K, even though I don't have anything to stream with at 8K. The ATEM minis that I've used in my studio all are 4K devices. They stream, HD devices, 1080p. You can do different frame rates, but you can't stream at 4K. I can stream at 4K using my Cam Link and OBS, which I demoed about 4 or 5 months back just to show that it can be done. It would use nowhere near that kind of bit rate. If I remember, I think it was like 25, but yeah, it's nice to accidentally hit the settings and yield results. Those are pretty good results. Is your ATEM melting? No. But it's about the same temperature, so it is not melting. Yeah, I'm not streaming 8K, but that's what I'll tell him. Yeah, I am. I actually am a little off tonight. Thank you for pointing that out, Tony. Not going to go into any details, but I'll just say that I got a call from a friend that I was going to see on Thursday who is battling some illness, and we got a pretty depressing phone call, or actually it was a text today, and so that's got my heart just a little heavy. And then obviously there's always things going on in the world, but again, I apologize if I don't have as much energy tonight. I will try to ramp it up. And again, I totally forgot, Tony, you had asked last night. I was in the stream last night with TVJ. I don't see Jay in the chat tonight unless I missed him. I'm just looking back here and I don't see him. But he had a live stream last night, and I was a part of it for part of the live stream. And I was asked if Ratso would show up tonight. So appreciate that, Joe. I've shared this before, and then we're going to unbox this because it's already past where I wanted to be unboxing this. But my motivation for my channel, when I finally made the decision to actually spend this time and energy that it takes to have a YouTube channel, I think everybody possibly has a motivation But my primary motivation is, for me, people are one of the greatest, if not outside of obvious things, right? My family and the things that are in my personal world, like my kids. But outside of that, when you look at everything else that's in the world around me, both in my family unit and outside of it, those human beings in my world have the greatest value to me. And so anytime one is struggling, whoever it is, and they're in my inner circle or just outside my outer circle, it makes a value impact on me. So I always say this, when they're healthy and I get a chance to spend time with them, it's like a deposit in the bank of my life. And when things are going bad and they're suffering, it's like a withdrawal. And today would be what we call withdrawal, because I was genuinely concerned. So, yeah, thank you so much. Ratso always cheers me up. And so we'll just see if we can fit Ratso in tonight. If not, I'll definitely have them in next week's Zoom town hall for sure. And usually Ratso comes to the town hall meeting, so make sure you're a part of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and unbox this while we're streaming so high. And again, if you don't know about the streaming settings inside the ATEM products, right? Anything that has encoding and streaming built into it. So that's the web presenter, the ATEM Mini, ATEM Mini Pro, ATEM Mini Pro ISO. Then there's the SDI model of the little ATEM Minis with 8 inputs, or 4 inputs. And then you have the extreme ISO and the SDI ISO, and those all also stream. And then web presenter, HD and 4K. And then there's some maybe obscure other devices that stream from Blackmagic design that's not coming to my memory right now. But they have typically 6 settings. So they have streaming high, medium, and low. And then they have HyperDeck high, medium, and low. And HyperDeck high, medium, and low primarily is used when you're recording directly to the ATEM. So like right now, the files are going to be huge. The memory is taken up is going to be huge, because whatever I have the output set to stream at, that's also the recording. So this is going to be a very crisp and high res recording. Even though it's 1080p, understand each one of those codecs are changing how much information is being sent out. And the higher the information being sent out, once it gets to YouTube, the better it's still going to look. Even though you're watching a 1080p 30 frame per second video tonight, it is crisper than normal because I'm streaming at HyperDeck high, which is as high as you can go. And that's because I was recording a video in the studio, and I almost always do my inside my video studio recordings at HyperDeck high, so that I get the best quality file in case I want to do any color correction or stuff like that. Still doesn't compete with the raw file, but that's for another podcast. Okay, so I don't have a sting or anything to put across the screen, so we are going to unbox this. Let me see if my Skycam again tonight quit working. So let me close OBS here real quick and try to reopen up my software for my Skycam. Chat off the air so you don't get that crazy result, because my key was on. The other thing too, I discovered tonight that I know how to put my mouse on the screen and be able to show you guys things. So we'll have fun with that. Again, you guys have seen my mouse before on the screen, and that's because when I have chat on the air, I have a key on the air, and I can actually display my mouse at the same time. So it's quite crazy. So if this software ever opens up, I'll see if I can't get Skycam working again, but I don't want to take it much more time. This is the SC15 by Rode. Again, it's USB-C to Lightning, and it is the stock image. Looks like I might have gotten this to work. There we go. So let me turn the camera off, minimize this, drag it back over here, turn OBS back on. Stand by, we'll get Skycam here. And I'm going to switch microphones here right now. Now I should be on the wireless go if all goes well, and it looks like I've got audio. And bingo. Is his name O? Okay. So let's see. How do I want to do this? Let's go me and a laptop. And I'm going to change what's in a couple camera angles here. Let's go super source. Box 1. We will make EOS R. Box 2. We're going to make it my PC. There you go. So we'll slide that keyboard out of the way. We'll just unbox this right on top of my ATEM Mini. But there you see, you have the SC15 by Rode, USB-C on one side, Lightning on the other side for iPad, for iPhone, iPad, iPod. Rode on the side, information on the back of the box, and barcode, and more information on the bottom. And again, these boxes, if you open them, they just get destroyed, FYI. So I'm going to destroy another box because they have really strong glue on these. So you're not going to be breaking into these if they're on a shelf. So see if we can get this to open up. Again, the glue is like heavy, heavy duty. So there we go. And that's it. That's all that's in the box is this cable. So that went in the trash. That goes in the trash. And then there's this paper with the same glue on it. But it came off. So there you go. This is the cable actually that you can get directly from Rode. Probably the most expensive little short cable you're going to buy. Again, Lightning on that side and USB-C on that side. And then you have this little protector in the middle. And the job that this is going to do is it's going to hook up to, see, can we just slide this over? Let's slide this over out of the way. Bring this into the frame. And so this is designed to go in like that. And this side goes in my phone like this. Let's close the YouTube channel. Thousand things open. And so then you can turn this on, and I'm not going to because I'm using one of my Wireless Go mics tonight, so I don't have them linked. You turn this on and it becomes an interface for your phone. If you have the other cable, which is right here, USB-C, then you can attach this to the USB-C port. Or get an adapter and attach it to your Mac or your PC, and then you have that as an option. But I want to be able to use this as an interface, and it went into charging mode because I do get power from your phone, so you could charge these from your phone. That's a good thing. And we've covered this transmitter. I'm not going to be talking about the Rode stuff tonight, but I wanted you guys to see this come out of the box, and so I'm going to unplug that. Unplug it from my phone, and I'm going to just roll these up in the box, trying to get everything I possibly can. I do have a magnet coming. Rode did replace my magnet. I bought this clip separately, and then I bought the kit for my other transmitter, which is on me right now tonight. So it's right here on me. It has the same metal clip attached to it, but it didn't come with a magnet. And in that kit, I got these other two clips, this clip right here, and then this pin clip right here. And again, that's so you could pin it right in someone's clothes, and then put the camera mount or the clip right through this little bracket. Let's go with this other angle. Let's see, do I still have SuperSys enabled here? Yeah. So on this side, there's actually pins that can go underneath this little bracket. There's my mouse. Let's get it out of the way. So they can come out from this little hiding place and pin right on. And then this one you can put in your shirt both ways with these clips. So one way for female and the other way for male, depending on the shirt button setup. And then, sorry, the light's not that great right here, but there's those two clips. And then the magnet clip looks like this. It's already slid on, and it has a giant red logo, Rode logo on it. The normal logo looks like this before you put the metal clip on it. So now it goes even brighter, more advertisement for Rode. But it came with a magnet, and my new one in the set did not. So this magnet's on the way, and I want to say thank you. Rode is willing to do that. They could have forced me to send it back to Amazon, but I'd already destroyed the box, opened it live. And because I had destroyed the box, opening it live, I just wanted to have Rode handle it because that's where the company that sent it to me bought it. So they get their money for selling it to me, and I get the clip that I needed. So all that fits in here, including the magnet clips. These won't, so these will just be in a drawer unless I'm doing a shoot that I need those. But let's pop back over here to me and a logo. So that is an unboxing tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. I've been unboxing things all the time. Again, I have a giant box I'm going to pick up tomorrow. It may have to do a little bit with last week's second half of my live stream. So I will give you guys an update, and I'll have that item here in the studio. I'm still working on my live production cases. Tony asked me last week if I was going to do a video, and I will once I decide exactly what's going to go in each of those cases. I have some things I'm going to be ordering this week. They're going to come in. They're going to go in those cases. So when I get all the pieces, and it may end up being 3 travel cases. I got 2 donated to me, but I may be buying 1 more. Then I will rack mount everything in a video, and then I will put those on one of my live streams as well, and I'll take you guys through the front and back of those cases. So I'm excited of what that's going to look like and how much fun that's going to be. So I hope you guys will join me for future live streams. So it's definitely next week in that 1-hour stream. You guys are going to see what I bought, and I'll save that until then, so I don't let the cat out of the bag. Give you some anticipation of what it might be. Okay, let's get to tonight's meat and potatoes, and that is going to be to talk about a new device, and I'm going to bring it on the screen here in a minute. Let's just go through the crazy chat world here and see what's going on in the chat. Ernesto, it's good to have you tonight joining us. And okay, let me just back up here. I don't have fiber. I have a wireless system, and I did a live stream on this a while back. I thought my IT guy was going to be on that. I tried to get him on here, but I think he was just not wanting to be on camera. So I will lose some packets because it's wireless transmission. And basically it comes off the mountain that's behind my house down to a transmitter. That transmitter, the base of the mountain, then transmits to the top of Country Mercantile, which is a big business not too far from me. I do a lot of my meetings upstairs in their room there, get coffee and meet with people up there that are local. I have a meeting there tomorrow where I'll be doing RodeCaster Pro 2 podcast training hands-on. That'll be fun with one of my clients. But again, that is then shot from the Country Mercantile to the back of my house. And so as my house faces forward, the back right-hand corner has a receiver up there. And then also on my mother-in-law's house, which is right behind us, her house is even higher than ours at that point. And so there is a receiver at her house. And that used to be a relay because their house was built before ours. And that's shot across the highway to another neighborhood receiver. And so was put together by a guy who bought a house on the other side of the highway. There was no internet available. He's an IT guy. He does installs for major corporations. So he decided to start his own company, bought access to cellular, just like all the other cellular companies and, internet companies do. He bought access, and I buy part of that access, and that's how I get internet at my house. I could also eventually get fiber. It's in my neighborhood, but I'm not sure that any of the hubs have been brought into the houses. I think you have to pay for that to get from the street into my house. And I don't know why I would do that at this point other than having a backup system. So, okay, well, it looks like we're still live as I talk eloquently here, or not so eloquently. Okay. I don't think I said hi to Chio, or did I? I think I did. You were in early. I'm losing track now of who was here. Yep, Chio was in here very early. I'm looking on how to get YouTube chat in my Elgato prompter while I listen to you. Okay, it's pretty simple. You use OBS. OBS is going to be what you use to put it on the air through one of your keys. You download Aaron Parecki's Chrome plugin, and I think it's called Pop Out Chat plugin. And once you install that in your Chrome extensions, then anytime you open up YouTube and you get ready to start a stream and you pop out chat, at the very top when you pop it out, you get the opportunity to copy a URL. I'll drag this over so you guys can see that. Let's see. Yes, I can. Where do I have to drag this? No, I can't tonight. Sorry. Let's see here. It's very similar to this. Let me pop out chat over here. Close this so you're only seeing this. So when I open up Chrome on my PC, I get this little link right here, and that could be pasted into OBS and display that way. And then once you have this link in OBS as a web browser, then you have to size it down so it's only on the lower thirds. And then you have to right-click in the program out. So let me go back to this view here. Trying to think what I'm doing here. I do not have OBS open. I'm opening OBS. At least I thought I was opening OBS. It's opening. There we go. So let me just display something here. So in OBS, when you have it open, you're going to click in. This is the scene section. So this is where you make your scenes, and you can call it a show, whatever you want it to. So let's say you do a live stream every week. You could call that scene live stream every week. Then you're going to add sources to that. Those are things you're going to put on the air. And right above, you can see my still image for tonight. That's in my preview mode. And you can click over here on studio mode and you can go just into this look, or you can click on studio and go into preview and program. And then once you transition from this side using the transition bar, then this will populate over here. So watch, if I turn it off with the little eyeball and then transition over, there's nothing there. Then if I click back on the background, it's in my preview, and then I transition, it goes into my program. Then when you right click in program, if you have other monitors, including your ATEM, hooked up to your laptop, so my laptop goes into my ATEM Extreme ISO, when I right click over here, it's going to give me a list. I'm going to go full screen. It's going to give me a list of all the output locations. So in my PC, I click on BMD, which is Blackmagic Design. It tells you what I'm sending. I'm sending 4K because I have a 4K laptop. I'm sending it to a 4K monitor. And so even the ATEM sees that as a 4K signal, even though it is changing that to a 1080p output inside the ATEM, it still sees it in its original size and source. And then if I click on go full screen and my Blackmagic Design right now, then I'll click on full screen. And now that just took over my screen, and it's also ready to display. So I could bring that on the air right now. I'm just looking for it. I must have gone to the wrong screen. Did I do here? Close. Let me try this again. Right click. Full screen. Blackmagic Design. Should take over my laptop. There we go. And now you can see it filled that whole frame. So it took over my laptop, which is what you guys are seeing right now in this super source. So then you would take that image that's now inside your Blackmagic Design and you'd bring that into a key. And I'll just steal one real quick so you guys can see how this is done. So I'll take my downstream key and see it's on the air right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to that downstream key, and it is using my PC. So I'm going to choose my laptop, and then I can size it or crop it. Helps if I'm in the right key here. I apologize. Key number 2 will help me here. Go to my laptop and I can size it and I can put it on the bottom and put it wherever I want. Now I use OBS to do all this, so it only displays in the bottom, but you are going to bring it in on a key, and so that's how you get it on the air. So we'll go back here and close so I can get my laptop back and display my laptop. So that's kind of a basic overview. You use OBS to project just like you could use PowerPoint to project to another monitor. And then once you've projected to that monitor, now you have OBS coming, whatever you have in the program of OBS coming on the air. So I could bring on my webcam through my laptop or my PC, or I could bring chat on the air. So, and then that link that you copy from pop-out chat is what you put inside a web browser in OBS. So you're going to, change camera angles here. You're going to use a web browser right here in sources. Video capture, window capture. Let me see what I have this set at for my overlay. It's a URL. Where is it? Okay, help me. What am I missing here, Tony? It's or Joe. It's a URL. Camera, display capture, media source, scene, teleport, text, video capture device, VLC video. Yeah, I'm not actually seeing the original source, so there's been an update. Browser, there you go. So you click on browser source, and then after you name it, you would open it, and then right here is where you would type in that extension that you copied, and then you can change the size of the frame right here. So right now it's 800 by 600, so you can size that. You can see the size up here. You're going to want that on the bottom of the screen, only covering the bottom of the screen. It's transparent once you use your key, and that's going to pop up and let you display chat. So, I mean, there's nothing about this that makes it simple, but once you figure out how to do it, it's not super, in my opinion, complicated. So we'll turn that off. I don't need this source anymore. So can I delete it? I'll worry about this later. Okay, so back to me and a logo. So, okay, let's move on to our discussion. At this rate, I will never get done tonight. So let me fix my chat display here. Tony doesn't use OBS. Tony, what are you displaying chat with when you're live? And Chio is using XSplit broadcaster right now, so he's avoiding Chrome extensions. So just then you have to find a way to send that from YouTube. So that's not something I know how to do outside of OBS right now. I'm sure there's other situations built into that software to be able to display chat. As long as you have the pop-out chat extension, it's still displaying a web browser into your device, and then it's putting that on the air for sure. So, yeah, and that was the Tony Cam. Okay, I'm moving on because it's my live stream. So let's look at this device. Let me close OBS, give my computer over here a break. Cancel that, bring the chat back over here to the Tony Cam. Okay, got that handled. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to change to the Tony Cam right now and talk just a little bit about this device. So, a shout out to Freddie Ponce, who asked me a question in an email about a week and a half ago. He said, will this new media player 10G replace the HyperDecks? And I can say right now that it could. We'll talk about why and when you might use this device to replace your HyperDeck. How does it compare to things like the UltraStudio, which is something that's in this? I think this is page 2, but there you see a picture of the UltraStudio. It's a little bit more expensive. It retails for over $1,000, and it does some other stuff, and it also doesn't do some stuff. And that device, I think, will get reinvented here pretty soon. But there's some things happening just in general that we need to talk about to be able to understand these devices. But I want to kind of take you guys through the device first, and let me talk about this. So on the front of this device, you can see that you have a 1, 2, and 3 button menu button set and lock. And then you have the little tiny typical little display there with audio settings on the right. So you can see if your audio levels are correct. You also have a headphone input on the left, and you have a little microphone and a speaker. So very much like the newer HyperDecks, you can hit the little speaker button and hear in your headphones if you have them plugged in. If you don't have headphones plugged in, then you'll get audio out of that little speaker. So you can definitely cue your audio, but this device is designed to mainly go into a rack and be able to plug into it through Thunderbolt. So the front of the device and the back of the device has Thunderbolt. Even though you don't see a Thunderbolt USB-C port, it's right behind the little plastic area there. I think I can put my mouse on the air here, so let's just go ahead and see. Can I bring my mouse up and over here? Up. And am I up there? Chat on the air. Up. There we go. So let me bring my mouse over here so I can see what I'm doing on this screen. So right here is a rubber port, and when you peel that off, there's a USB-C port there, and it's actually Thunderbolt. That Thunderbolt cable is designed to plug into a laptop, probably mostly, unless you're in a studio, you would plug into the back of it. So it has a port in the front and has a port in the back. And this interface was mainly designed, in my opinion, for those people that are going to be in a broadcast booth or in a home studio, and they want to broadcast directly from their software. So let me make this very clear. You don't have a SD card in it. It's not like a HyperDeck that you have 2 SD cards that you can record into the HyperDeck and have it completely away from a laptop. You could go do an event with a HyperDeck and an ATEM. Extreme ISO would be a lot easier, or an Extreme would be a lot easier because there's more buttons to control things on the front of it. But this device is literally designed to be an interface very similar to what we've already had. So that's where that button is at. I'll drop that mouse off the screen here. So the UltraStudio is very similar. It is a Thunderbolt device, and it also has some other hookups. You got a microphone in the front. There's a lot of people that use this as a single camera interface. This has got a keyer built into it for being able to key out backgrounds, like green screen backgrounds. It's built into it. So it's a really good device for doing things like that. It doesn't encode, it doesn't stream, but it does have a key and fill out. And so there's a lot of things you can do with this device, but we're not talking about it tonight. We are talking about the Media Player 10G. So making it clear, it is a Thunderbolt device. It does not record internally. It's designed to work in conjunction in your studio. And it's also super fast. It's got super fast ports. So what we're going to do right now is I just want to take you guys through some of the features that they talk about right here. It says, now you can use DaVinci Resolve 19 as a media player and a replay solution. So this is was designed to be a presenter. So you can walk into a truck, plug into the front port, have all of your files. Let's say you've been hired to go into a broadcast situation, and that's what you do. So you have all of your graphics and everything already ready on your device. You go in, you plug into this, and you can directly broadcast and replay from DaVinci Resolve. Obviously, you're going to have to get all of those files, all those video files from somewhere, and that's why Blackmagic Design has come up with this whole new 10G fast infrastructure so that you could have all your videos in the truck as well, and you would be able to ingest and broadcast right from your laptop or portable device out to your broadcast almost instantaneously. So you can record through it and then send video out of it. So it could interface in time, and we'll talk more about other software that it interfaces with. So 10G Ethernet is built into it. It's got 12G SDIs. So you're going to be able to do 4K in and 4K out. And Thunderbolt is fast enough to do that. So we'll continue down there. So it's going to interface with DaVinci Resolve. So you could do your alpha channel and your key channel graphics for animated graphics right from this device. Again, there's not going to be any video in it. The video has to be in your software on your laptop or your PC or your Mac. And you're going to interface with this device. There's no internal recording inside of it. So get new editing and replay in DaVinci Resolve. So here's some up-close pictures. And I have some still image as well. So there you can see Thunderbolt from that Mac right into the front of it. You can see the little rubber cap off. And now they've plugged into it. And it's got the screen. And so you're going to see what's going back and forth in that device. And you can see it has an output that will display what you are broadcasting. So that's showing in it. It's broadcasting, and you can overlay graphics right over that broadcast. So Thunderbolt 3 is built into it. So it's 40 gigabytes a second. And then here is the back of the device. And we're just going to go left to right. And I'm going to take you guys on a little pointer journey right now. So, okay. So let's go. You got the power supply. Then you have a desktop USB. So this will interface with a keyboard mouse. So if you walked into a truck, you can literally attach your keyboard and mouse to it. And then below that is the Thunderbolt port in the back. So again, Thunderbolt port in the front or in the back that you can plug into. So if it's rack mounted, you'd use the front port. If it's just built into a truck you're going to design or studio you're going to design, then you would plug in Thunderbolt in the back. Now you have that fast 10G Ethernet port. So you can create a 10G network in your house like Tony at QuickTech Solution has in his studio, and some of the rest of you do as well. You can remote access it right here. And then you have fill and key. Again, fill would be the main graphic. Key would be cutting out the background, and you could design those right inside your software and actually use them right from the software and broadcast them fill and key. I've never done that, but that's what this device is designed to do. Then you have a desk output. That's going to be as well as a monitor output, so you can monitor what's being broadcast. And then you have a desktop output. And below that, you have desktop out HDMI. So you got desktop out SDI right here and HDMI output. Then you got monitor output SDI, 12G, by the way. And then you have monitor out here. And so it can handle all the codecs that you could imagine, all the way down to 720p, I believe it said, all the way up to high 4K. It's also high bit rate video is being passed through this device. And then you can see you have an analog audio out, right, and left. that you could then send to your console and broadcast that through your mixing console. So obviously having XLR outputs is huge. So that's kind of the reason for this device, is that you can use it now to be able to interface with your mobile device, your laptop, your Macintosh, or a non-mobile PC or Mac inside a studio. And then you would be able to use DaVinci Resolve and other software to do instant replay. Again, you could be bringing the video into it and sending it through to your laptop, editing it through the new tools that are available from Blackmagic Design, the new replay device. And I'm going to pop that on the screen right now just to make this very clear. Get my mouse over here. So this device right there is designed specifically. It's the DaVinci Resolve Replay Editor. It's designed to speed things up so that you could be doing that. So you could have that and your laptop Thunderbolt plugged in, and then access on your 10G network to all these files, so that the media player 10G is communicating with your storage, your laptop, and so you're ingesting and then you're sending video out. So because it's designed for interfacing with the laptop, you could use it like a HyperDeck, because if you're at a venue and you had your laptop there, you could broadcast your graphics from your laptop through the Thunderbolt port into the media player 10G, and then have that go out through desktop out to your monitor, and or monitor out from your monitor, and then fill and key would be going to your broadcast. Or if you're just playing a video, you would just play it through fill. If you were doing animated graphics, you would play it through fill and key, and that's how you do it. And a HyperDeck has a fill and key as well, unless you buy the shuttle version or the new HyperDeck Mini HD. It does not have fill and key. You have to get the HyperDeck Plus, HD Plus. At least that's the entry level that has key and fill. Or you can go back and buy the old HyperDeck Mini, and it has key and fill as well. You could buy a 4K model, and the HyperDecks go all the way up to 8K now in the hierarchy, and they're designed to be in a rack. They're designed to have video footage inside them. And I have a lot of people go, I don't want to mess with a HyperDeck. I don't want to have to record my graphics, put them on an SD card, and then play them inside that HyperDeck. So this would be why you would have a device like this. If you don't want to do that, and you want to bring all your graphics into your live show or a live production on location, using a laptop or a Macintosh or a PC, laptop, Mac, or PC, desktop, either Mac or PC, then this is the solution for you. But you have to have a device that has Thunderbolt, and you need to have Thunderbolt 3, because that's where you're going to get the speed that you're going to need to be able to do instant replay. And obviously Thunderbolt's getting faster and faster. Blackmagic Design is adopting Thunderbolt in their devices. Again, they've had the UltraStudio for a while, and it is on Thunderbolt, and they have a less expensive device that's not 4K. And so these devices have been available, and now you have this 10G media player. But there's some major differences between the two devices, and I think that's something that you want to look at before you make your decision. And I say between these two devices right here, the UltraStudio, and I wish this was the picture of it. Let me go back one page. So this is the UltraStudio with Thunderbolt, and then here's the little model, and it comes in 3 flavors right there. So this is the new device announced by Blackmagic Design. Again, it is called, we'll go all the way back up here, the Media Player 10G. And we'll just cover a couple more things here. I want to read this to you. Blackmagic Media Player includes everything you need for broadcast playback. Place it on the desktop or in back of a rack mounted using Blackmagic Universal Rack Shelf, which is just a shelf you can bolt it to. And you can put 2 of these devices on a rack shelf. The front panel has an LCD with video, audio meter status information that include input, video standard, and depth of the record playback frame buffer. The audio meter can also be changed between VU and PPM. There's also a headphone socket, speaker, and speaker enable button. To lock the speaker on, just double press the speaker enable button. And that's a really cool feature to be able to double click it and lock it on rather than having to hold it down to hear everything. And it says just double press. If Blackmagic Media Player is mounted in the control room, then the front Thunderbolt connection lets you walk up and plug your computer right into the front rack. Or again, you can plug in the back. Extremely fast Thunderbolt connection. 4.4224 files with alpha channels, SD, HD, and Ultra HD. Video standards up to 2160. We already looked at 40 gigabytes a second. But Thunderbolt, you get lots of speed to handle large 4.4.4.4 and 4.4.2.2.4 files. So pretty incredible. Connection, replay, monitoring, and extended desktop. So Blackmagic Media Player has lots of connections for monitoring, extended desktop, and fast networking, all in a single Thunderbolt connection. The program fill and key outputs can be muted, so video won't key on switcher until the replay is started, which is really cool. Then the dedicated 12G SDI outputs and the HDMI monitoring outputs are always active, so you can set up the next replay. There's even balanced audio out for powered speakers. Again, that could go to powered speakers or to a console and then out to powered speakers. There's even a balanced audio, plus the 10G Ethernet provides fast access to shared storage for accessing ISO video files. There's even an extended desktop for the DaVinci UI, plus a USB expansion for a keyboard and a mouse. So you can use this with DaVinci UI. So if you are a DaVinci Resolve user, then you actually can use this as a monitor as well and go right through the monitor output. So pretty cool. Here you see it on a desk way it's probably mostly going to be used. Laptop plugged into it. It goes out to the console. The console broadcasts from it. And then you can see the monitors there. You have, right, you guys see this. You have the monitor with the multi-view, and then you have the actual monitor coming out showing you what you're broadcasting, which would be the program out. And then again, adding your animated graphics right from DaVinci Resolve. So there's key and fill graphics. So the left side is fill, and that would be a full frame video if you're just doing video. But when you're doing transparent graphics, you need the key layer behind it in order for you to actually, the key layer behind it cuts out the background. So it makes this look crystal clear. And this then cuts out the background that's going on in the program out. And so if this is flying across the screen, this goes right behind it. So they're not two separate graphics. This would be the lower layer, and this is the up layer. This is the layer everybody sees when it's on the air. This layer is just cropping out jerseys and everything else, nets that would create crazy transparent graphics. So that's kind of a basic look at what's happening here with this device. Let's get the mouse back off the air. You could use it in this situation where you're just doing editing. I'm not sure that makes a lot of sense, but she's not set up to broadcast. Right here, you don't see anything coming out of the back of the Media Player 10G, but she does have the new DaVinci Resolve Replay Editor that's available, I believe, this month or next month from Blackmagic Design. She also has her laptop plugged into the front port on the Media Player 10G. So that's a use case scenario. Super fast playback, 10G speeds, high-speed Ethernet for network storage access. So you really need to be using network storage access, but having 10-bit, if you're going to do 4K productions, you want to be able to do all of your graphics and all of your broadcasting with 10-bit graphics, and you can see the difference of the graphics, 8-bit on the left, and you can see that jagged line. And if you go to 10-bit graphics, you don't have the same big, bold, jagged line because you have way more bit depth. So way more small bits of information makes these lines more crisp. So pretty stinking important to have that. So let's see, anything else here? This is a software that it integrates with DaVinci Resolve, Fusion, Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects, and Avid Media Composer. Those are integrated. And so great to be able to use some of the software that's available out there. Use powerful broadcast graphics and tools, and you can do 4K DCI, 4096 by 2160, Ultra HD 3840 by 2160, all the way down to SD 720p graphics. So supports Ultra HD, and 4K DCI film, and supports SD, HD, and 2K DCI film as well. And you can see a list of all the codecs right here. Tons of codecs available in this software or inside this device. So a couple more things before we talk about HyperDecks. So RS422 control. Again, that's found in the back of the device. So you can network it. You can develop custom solutions with the SDK. So you can write your own code for it. So it'll be interesting to see code for this as the SDK is free download. And if you are a writer, software writer, then you can do that. So the tech specs, again, you can see the Blackmagic Media Player 10G is right side by side with the UltraStudio 4K Mini. So it's a part of that family. Just keep that in mind. It's not a part of the HyperDeck family. They're not calling this a HyperDeck, but it has some specific things that it does and a HyperDeck can do, and it has specific things that it can do that a HyperDeck can't do. You can't plug into a HyperDeck through the USB-C port and be able to start integrating it with DaVinci Resolve. So just keep that in mind. So this is designed to be on the fly in a studio truck or in a studio, and you can just walk in with your laptop and begin to use it to do instant replay using the DaVinci Resolve replay editor. So, and then I will put this link tonight in the description. So let's go back to me and the logo here. So it's a lot to stomach, right? A lot to hear. So what would be the answer of a HyperDeck? And then I'll address the chat in the description or in the chat tonight. So HyperDecks were designed to do ISO recording originally and graphics. So if you're going to use it to record, you would take your camera SDI out, plug in the back of the HyperDeck as the input SDI, and then you hit record. It has, they typically, HyperDecks had two types of card reading, and there's the little SD cards and the less expensive HyperDecks, and then you get into more of the SSD drives that you would plug in. But the whole idea was to record that camera, and then you could come out of the loop out SDI to your mixing console, which is then broadcast from. So you have a backup recording at a high resolution. You can set the codec inside the HyperDecks. What do you want to record? You want to record ProRes, you want to record regular HD, DNC, whatever. You could record and set it that and record that file, H.264. The newer HyperDecks will do H.265. And so again, and then they go up to 4K, all the way up to 8K. And so you can record inside the HyperDecks, whatever the media is. These devices are now designed to work in a networked environment so that you could be pulling files and recording files. Also have your laptop in the middle of that, sending replay videos, so receiving, and all of that. And then you can use the faster protocols that Blackmagic Design are diving into, and be able to send things directly faster through your network once you have this 10G network. But the prices get up there. You can see this device is $995, and the UltraStudio 4K Mini is $1,055. Again, they do different things, but this new device has the 10G built into it. I'm sure we're going to see an upgrade to the 4K. In fact, I'll predict it right now that the UltraStudio 4K is going to get an update, and it's going to have the ability to have 10G integration as well, because it makes no sense not to continue to create this networked environment that Blackmagic Design is diving full on in. And if you don't believe me, watch the video announcement right before NAB, where that's all they talked about was device after device after device to integrate high-speed 10G networking from cameras back to devices, and everything had to be converted to faster protocols, and we're not going to spend any time talking about tonight because that would be the ultimate rabbit hole. So, okay, so I think that covers it. So does it replace a HyperDeck? No. If you want to have a HyperDeck in your studio, record your intro video or outro video, or have videos for a broadcast, or have graphics that you use like a subscribe logo that's animated with transparency, then you could use those files inside your HyperDeck. You could also record to your HyperDeck. If you, for some reason, had 2 or 3 HyperDecks and you want to buy one of the new rack-mounted devices that Blackmagic Design sells now with SDI inputs and outputs, and add more inputs and add more outputs to your studio, then you could use your HyperDecks to do your ISO recording, or you could use your HyperDecks to do playback, but they are a great device for that. All my HyperDecks in my studio will record and send 4K. So my old HyperDeck Mini will do 4K, except for my shuttle, but it does HD. But my original HyperDeck Mini, the older version, and my new HyperDeck Studio Plus will do 4K recording, and it'll do 4K out of it as well. So, then you get into 12G signals in the higher end, and that SDI built into the new media player, those are all SDI 12G. And so that's going to take you all the way up to the highest resolutions down the road. So again, a great device, but it doesn't replace a HyperDeck in any sense, in my opinion, but it does do some things like a HyperDeck can do. So how does this help you? Well, if you just needed fill and key and you wanted a device, you could use either one of those devices. And you could then use that to bring in fill and key into your live stream coming from your laptop. So you could use software like ProPresenter or all the other softwares that are available to do graphics. So you could play a video from your laptop or Mac. You could play alpha and key channel graphics from there, but they will take up 2 channels in your switchers, because you have to have one channel to do the key graphics or the fill graphics, and you have to have one channel to do the key out background of the graphics. So I use 2 HyperDecks in my studio plus the shuttle. The shuttle I use to be able to play videos and then scroll forward and back. I really like that feature with the big knob. Again, it does not have key and fill. And then in my Mini, I can use as well fill and key, and I can use my HyperDeck HD Plus. So I could have 2 graphics if I wanted to take up 4 inputs on one extreme ISO. I could have 2 graphics flying across the screen. So I could have a video transition to a video with my HyperDecks. I could have a stinger go across the screen and transition from a camera to a HyperDeck video, or vice versa. And if you have 3 HyperDecks in your studio like I do, I have the shuttle, I have the HyperDeck Mini, and I have the HyperDeck HD Plus, I could do a stinger, animated stinger coming across the screen and transition from a video to a video. I could even transition from an animated graphic to an animated graphic using an animated stinger, but I wouldn't be able to do fill and key on the stinger because I don't have 3 HyperDecks that do fill and key. So that's what you're going to see in these high-end productions. They can transition with a stinger from a video to a video, and that's going to take HyperDecks, or it's going to take one of these, the media player 10G or one of the UltraStudios in order to do that, because they will do fill and key as well. And that's why inside your upstream keys, you have the ability to bring in fill and key. And so I just wanted to point that out real quick for those of you that this may be just a bit daunting, a conversation. So we'll bring over this and change to my new laptop view, so I can use the Tony Cam. But so right now, this is my media player, and you can see my mouse. So this is an extreme ISO, guys, so I have 2 media players. But where you use fill and key is when you get into your keys, and you can see right here on the air, you can see my laptop is the fill layer for Luma and the key layer. I could make this my HyperDeck, and see my HyperDeck right here has a fill. So what am I on right now? Laptop on key 2. So I could make this my HyperDeck fill and my HyperDeck other input key. And so now if I had loaded a animated graphic with transparency, I could turn this key number 2 on the air. And if I have autoplay set in my HyperDeck, then it would automatically roll. And where do you set that? You go right down here to your HyperDeck and you click on auto roll. So this HyperDeck and my third HyperDeck, which is my shuttle, they're all set to auto roll. So as soon as I cut to them, they will automatically roll. And so if I turn the key on the air, that graphic, if it was a lower thirds or if it was a stinger, it would automatically roll. So you have fill and key options right here on all your upstream keys. And then if you go down here to your downstream keys, you also have it in Luma only. But that means that you could use your downstream key to bring a graphic on the air from your HyperDeck. And you can also use, so this could be one graphic. I could have another graphic in key number 4. I could have another graphic in key number 3. So I could literally be displaying 4 upstream key HyperDecks and 2 downstream key HyperDecks. So I could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 graphics on the air at the same time using 6 different HyperDecks or these other devices that do fill and key. And that's where you're going to find fill and key in there. Now, they are a channel. This is HyperDeck fill, and this is HyperDeck key. So if I just wanted to cut to a video, I could click on here and play a video. And my HyperDeck has my let's see, I will cue this video. And I will go ahead and cut right now to my HyperDeck. And you can see my video plays, take my logo off the air, and then cut back. And my HyperDeck continues to play. But now I've cut back to this camera, actually this camera, and I'll go back to my other camera and my laptop. So if you cut to it and it's autoplay, you can just cut to it as a video source. But if you want the animated graphics on the screen, you must use a key, an upstream key or a downstream key, and you have to use the Luma selection. You can bring them on DVE, but they're not going to play. You're always going to bring those keys in Luma. And the downstream keys are just Luma keyers. So that's all they are. They don't have a choice to do a Luma, Chroma, pattern, or DVE. Downstream keys only do Luma or fill and key because they're Luma keys. So hopefully that makes sense. That's where you find those inside your switchers. And it doesn't have to be a Blackmagic design switcher. It could be any manufacturer that has a switcher that will do fill and key. And then you would use a HyperDeck. You could use a HyperDeck with those. What I like about the HyperDecks by Blackmagic's design, to be totally frank with you, is that I can automate them. I can create macros and launch videos. Like right now, if I wanted to end tonight's live stream, all I have to do is hit a macro. It will roll my HyperDeck. It'll put my still image up, and then it will roll my HyperDeck, and I will then be able to close tonight with a video right from my HyperDeck. So that's how HyperDecks work. They can be a recording device. They can be a video playback device. They can be a key and fill graphic player. But again, you have to know how to use them inside the software. They can be set to auto roll, or they can be, that auto roll could be turned off. And you can cut to them as an input because you have to have them inputted into your switcher. But if you're going to use fill and key, or you have a HyperDeck that uses fill and key, or you have a media player 10G or UltraStudio that has fill and key, you have to use 2 inputs. And of course, their SDI outputs of most HyperDecks, the new, actually all the HyperDecks, you have to use SDI converters if you want to come out of them, fill and key, and bring them into your ATEM Extreme or your ATEM Mini HDMI. You would have to use a SDI to HDMI converter. So I have 2 converters for every HyperDeck that does fill and key, and I only have an HDMI coming out of my shuttle, which is great because you can buy a shuttle, integrate it with your HDMI inputs, and play videos right away. It doesn't do graphics, but it will record if you want to record to it right from your camera, and it will actually loop out of it and go directly to your ATEM HDMI input. So I love that device. Now, the new HyperDeck HD Plus has an HDMI out, so you can use it. You don't have to buy an SD converter if you're going to use it as a HD video playback device or a 4K playback device. But why would you buy a HyperDeck Studio Plus or HyperDeck Mini HD Plus if you weren't going to use the fill and key features? That doesn't make any sense at all. So that's kind of an overview of HyperDecks, and that's kind of an overview of what this new Media Player 10G does. So I know Freddie has to roll. He said he had an hour and a half, so I wanted to try to cover that as much as I possibly could before Freddie has to jet. So now I'm going to see if I can possibly catch up with chat, and let me see if I can scratch my nose right there. So again, that mouse is coming through the key. So if I turn the key off the air, I'll just put the mouse up there to prove it to you. If I turn my key off the air, the mouse goes away. So I'm turning key number 4 where I display chat and my SkyCam. So if I leave the key on, go over to OBS and turn my chat off and my SkyCam on, and then bring it on the air, it's going to cover me completely on the screen. And then when I turn the key off, it goes away, and I turn the key number 4 on, it comes back on the air. So I'm using OBS to bring on my SkyCam as a webcam from my PC, and I'm also using it to display chat on the air. So I do have to switch between the 2 of them if I want to show chat. Okay, let's just blow through these chats. So that's a shout out to Freddie. He asked this question earlier. Let's go back up here, and then I'll do my best to catch up with the chat before we leave tonight. Freddie, where is your question at here? Wish you could search by person. There it is. So Freddie asked this question earlier in, what's the deal here? Let me transition over here. Freddie asked this question earlier. Let me put it back up there again. Does the 10G media player replace the HyperDeck? Should you use them both? And you can. You could use them both, or you could use them either or. Again, if you wanted to do instant replay and you wanted to and you put a 10G network in your house, then I would go for the Media Player 10G to be able to do graphic overlays. But if you're going to do remote broadcasting or even in your studio broadcasting and you just want to create your graphics, export them to the HyperDecks on their SD drives, or you want to record videos from a camera like at a wedding and you want to go through it to your switcher and broadcast live, then the HyperDeck has swappable discs. So once the first disc fills up, then you can switch to the second disc automatically, and then you can change disc 1 out for a new disc. And once disc 2 is filled, it changes back to disc 1, and that's a super powerful tool. So having a HyperDeck just if you're going to do wedding productions is great, because you don't ever have to worry about running out of video and having to stop the video recording, change discs, and put it back in again, because the HyperDecks can swap disc and record indefinitely, because it automatically goes from disc 1. In fact, it starts flashing when disc 1's almost full, and then it will change to disc number 2 as long as disc number 2 is empty. And once disc number 2 is full, it will change back to disc number 1 with a new disc. And obviously media is getting cheaper and cheaper, so you can buy some 1 terabyte SSD cards now and use it with your HyperDeck, and it take a long time at HD video to fill that up. Obviously, if you're recording 4K, it's going to fill up a lot faster. So shout out again to Freddie's question. And we'll move on here. Should change the stream name, Joe says, to testing the HyperDeck High. Yeah, well, so far it's passed the test because I have a good friend with super fast video. So, yeah, I do. Tony, just to answer this question, he says, are you considering producing podcasts? Yeah, I have a client that I'm meeting with tomorrow, Tony, that I'm training them. They're good friends of mine. They're also a client. Which is you got to pick really good clients if they're friends. So keep that in mind. That's my advice because it can ruin friendships. So I've been teaching them how to use the DJI Osmo 6, how to record directly through the Blackmagic Design camera app or the DJI app. I prefer the camera app, but there's some follow features built into the DJI Mimo app. So they're using that to record video until they get their full video production equipment in the rental building. They have a RodeCaster Pro 2 that they're going to be doing a podcast. So I'm training them how to use it mainly just tomorrow. The RodeCaster Pro 2, how to set it up, how to get the videos off of it into your laptop or your Macintosh or your PC, whatever it is. So that's tomorrow. So no one's hired me so far to do a local podcast. If I got Studio B built, I would be hosting podcasts here in the house. And so that's something Shannon and I are still talking about. That would be the primary fundraising to have Studio B paid for. And it would cost me 20 grand to build it. So I'd have to do 20 grand of work. I have added live audio production to my repertoire. And we'll be talking more about that next week again. I will be unboxing something either that night or before it, but it will be here in the studio. So again, it's a great question because I'm trying to create a number of flows of income into my retirement. One of those would be doing some outdoor events, either volunteer or paid. And I would love to have Studio B done. It's a little bit more private because it will be built into my garage. So for entertaining clients coming and going, that would be private, except for the bathrooms are in the house. So those are the debates, but it would be self-contained. It would have its own split units in it. So I'd be able to cool off it. And then I could actually use my garage as a photo studio as well, because when I install those split units, I would be putting a split unit in my garage. So I'll be able to heat and cool my garage and my studio that would be built inside my garage because it's a 3-car garage. It will become a 2-car garage because one of the garages is going to be converted, if I do it right, to an entrance. And then it'll have a split in it. And then the other 2-car garage will be where Shannon and I park, pull the cars out, and I can still do a photo shoot in there with backgrounds. I may even have a studio window between Studio B and my garage so that I could use it maybe possibly as a production room. I haven't decided yet. I don't want to take the sheetrock off and insulate it, and I need to park my cars inside. So it's just my crazy brain, but Studio B is still very much on the table. We just have to decide if it's worth the investment of 20 grand. Are we going to get a return on it? Because I'm going into retirement and I'm not investing any more money in any construction on this house unless I'm going to get a return to live on while we continue to retire here in this house. So don't think you lost me. Okay, let's just go through these real quickly. So Tony's using H2R graphics, which is John Barker created. So you can you can purchase it. There's a free version. He's been making updates to that. So go check out Here to Record, John Barker. That's what Tony's using. And maybe one of these days, Tony will have to chat about that. So he's not having to use Chrome. He's been able to use, or Aaron Parecki's, he says, I'm using the Chrome browser plugin. I was using, but now I'm using HDR graphics. So yeah, HDR graphics will bypass the need, I'm pretty sure, to use Chrome. Okay. Second HDMI out from Tony's Mac is how he's getting it into his ATEM, just like I'm coming out of my laptop and my PC into inputs in my ATEMs. Again, if you want to show your laptop, your inside your live stream, you're going to have your laptop or your Mac or your PC going into your ATEM, or you won't be able to display it. And if you want to be able to bring in high-end animated graphics with transparencies, then you're going to have to find a way to bring in key and fill. You can do that through a deck link card by Blackmagic Design in a PC or a Macintosh desktop model, and export SDI or input SDI through deck link cards. So you can check those out at Blackmagic Design. I know that some of you in the chat tonight are using those deck link duo cards. Tony uses a dedicated laptop, and Tony's actually doing a video audio podcast. And so, you know, he's been working on all of those type technologies. So why he's asking me questions about, am I going to host podcasts, is exactly what Tony's doing. He's producing those. So, and I believe that technology is coming. That's why Studio B is possibly a really good idea for me, because I could have a number of clients coming into Studio B. That's why I've come up with green screen designs, how I would use that, so I could put it up when I have clients coming in quickly and take green screens down, and it would need to be wraparound green screens. So I have a whole design in my head that I've engineered. I would have to have someone build it for me, and it would be something that would go up and down very quickly. And maybe one of these Tuesday nights I'll talk about that. But again, I would probably patent it, so I'm not going to talk a lot about that design here. But the idea is it would be ultra fast, ultra portable, and be able to be up in just a few minutes and down in just a few minutes and store quickly. So we'll see if I actually take that to my brother-in-law, who can design anything through CAD and actually could build it for me in carbon fiber if I wanted to him, because he has a company that builds carbon fiber airplane parts. And so he is very much an engineer and a designer, and now he has his own company doing airplane parts, which is really cool. Okay. Good to have you here, Doug. I saw that you showed up late. Thank you for joining us if you're still here. Okay. LOL, Joe and David are talking about what their wives understand, I think. So Chio talked about how he is displaying. It's good to have you here, Jay. I gave you a shout out to your live stream earlier in the chat. But it's good to have you. Thank you for joining me. Sorry I couldn't stay for your whole live stream last night. I'm just going through these questions to see what I can address here. 10 gigabytes is 80 megabytes per second, which is nuts. Or gigabits, actually. Yeah, TVJ, Jay worked in a truck that used HyperDecks for stingers and graphics. I have stingers and graphics in here. I just don't use them in my live stream, but I can. And if you guys would like me to, one of these nights, I'll put up all my key and fill graphics and let you guys see them. Right now, I don't have them loaded. I think they might be on this disk. Let me just see if I have one on this disk. So I'll put this on the air. This is a stinger I made for a client that found me here on the channel. So let's see here. What key did I have that set up in? Oh, there you go. I was in key number, downstream key number 1. So let's see. Let's put this on the air and see if this stinger plays. There you go. So that's a stinger I created. I'll just loop that real quick. Turn chat off the air, turn this back on. So that's a stinger I designed. So it closes. You could change camera angles. And again, that's in 2 parts. So I can show you guys that with my Skycam here real quick. Actually, I'm going to use my iPhone cam here. And let's see. I got to go to, where is that at? This. And I'm going to cut now to Extreme 2. So see this going over top as I show you fill and key. Let's just pause it here the next time it goes by. Okay, so there you have fill, which is the colored version, and you have the keyed version. I can't go faster or slower because the HyperDeck doesn't let me shuttle it, but I'll hit play again. And I'll just give you a view. So that is the fill layer. That is input number 7 on my ATEM Extreme ISO. And that is the key layer. So you can see the key layer is white, so it's cutting out the background, but it's actually being layered over top of the program. And there's a view of the layer, same thing you guys are seeing because that's the program out. So now if I turn that stinger off the air, then now you're just seeing fill and key. And that is my HyperDeck right here coming in to input 7 and 8 in the back of my HyperDeck, and it's converted. So under my desk back there is 2 SDI to HDMI converters. So it comes out of here, fill and key, SDI, and then it comes in here, HDMI, because I'm converting it. And here's my old HyperDecks playing a video from Christmas. And this HyperDeck has fill and key as well. And it comes out and goes into 7 and 8 in my other Extreme ISO. So the reason for this is that I can loop program in. I'm using this for my Skycam right now, but I can loop program in. This is the only switch I have left. I can loop program in, so I could broadcast the program from here, and I could use my other HyperDeck as an intro and outro video. So I could flip the disc out real quick. This is the disc. I could pull this out, pop it in here in the middle of the live stream, and rebroadcast from that deck if this deck dies. Now, right now, I've disconnected the program in, so the split out of this one program comes into this one, and I could then use this to stream and record. And then right now, if I bring this ATEM Mini back over, if I go on the air, I'm actually now broadcasting to my streaming bridge. So if I switch over from program in, which is this camera, to bridge, you guys are going to see what's in my ATEM Mini, which I think is just a still image. Let me cut to the still image right now. So I'm going to cut to still. And I will then, let's see, I need to push the button. So take a second. And there's the Bat Cave, which is the still image. So this is broadcasting to my streaming bridge. My streaming bridge is coming in right here. And I'm broadcasting that into input number 2. And that's what you guys are seeing. If I cut back to input number 3, that's going to be the Tony Cam. This is the cam I'm on right now. So if I go over here and change, then you guys will be back on me. Did it transition? No, it didn't. Let me try auto. There we go. Now you guys are back on me. So that's Phil and Key, and I can actually broadcast from my ATEM Mini Pro. Why would I do that? Well, normally I take it to another room and I broadcast from it into this studio. But right now I was just playing around with using the inputs on it. So I can use it for my Skycam. I could use it. So I could add right now, if I wanted to, 4 more inputs for my ATEM Mini and then just broadcast to my streaming bridge and then bring those 4 inputs one at a time into my streaming bridge, which would just be another high-tech switch in my studio. But so, okay, let's see if we can even wrap this up tonight. Good to have you again here, Jay. Hopefully the stream isn't breaking up, but I'm about to wrap up. I'm dizzy from the stinger. It's hilarious. Buffering a bit, so okay, everybody's getting on the internet tonight to watch TV, and I'm losing my signal. So we are going to wrap up because it sounds like my cache is filling up. I dropped there for a second, so let's wrap this up while we still can. Freddie says, thanks for the info. HyperDecks can only do pre-recorded graphics. That's true. That's all they can do. So you could network them into an SD card through your network, or you can record them from your software into a SD card and then bring it into the HyperDeck. You can't do the same things with a device like the UltraStudios and the new Media Player 10G. So that is correct. Must be recorded ahead of time. Best format is ProRes, period. There's one DNC type file you can create that will play, but I've always used exporting files as ProRes alpha channel graphics if I want to play a stinger or something with a fill and key. That was from Jay. Yep. Okay. So I think I've covered most all of these. Again, don't forget to sign up next week in the link that I put in the description on my website. If you'd like to join the Zoom town hall meeting next week, I have a special guest from New York that's going to be coming in and giving us a look at a top level shot out the window with the skyline of New York City. So you're going to see some great views from that guest next week. She will be in the chat and she will also join us in Zoom. Again, that's not live. That's not going to be recorded. You literally have to join the Zoom meeting. If you want to join the Zoom meeting next week after our 1 hour live, where I'll be unveiling some new equipment, then we will take a break and then I'll launch the Zoom meeting. So if you haven't subscribed to that, please click on the link that's going to be in the description tonight, my contact page, fill out the information, make sure I have your email, and then I will be able to sit and actually say in the comments that you want to join the Zoom meeting next week. That will be next Tuesday at about 5:15. We'll stream from 4 to 5. We'll take a break, and then we will go into that. Ratso will be with me in that Zoom meeting for sure, and I may do a little teaser during next week's live if I don't forget to bring Ratso in here, and I'll do that for Joe and Tony and some of you guys who love Ratso. Okay, I think I said hi to everybody that came in the chat tonight. If I didn't, I apologize. Again, here is that link. What happened? Oh, I brought my whole website up. Great. I didn't mean to do that, so I'll close that. So I can't just display that chat. There you go. So that's the link. Again, it's cropped. I don't know why that is. I will put that link in the chat or in the comments after we're done tonight below the video. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I am Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios. I'm going to say goodnight. It's hot in here, and it's been one of those crazy days. But thank you so much. I'm so honored you guys will join me. a little announcement. My video is done and finished. I just need to upload it with all of the audio samples from the Wireless Go 2, from the DJI Mic 1, the DJI Mic 2. The DJI Mic 2 used wirelessly Bluetooth, is not a part of this demo, but you can actually use that as a Bluetooth device to your phone. But I do a sample of the audio, 32-bit float and 24-bit. Also, recording in the RodeCaster Pro for all of these devices, as well as what it sounds like when I run the RodeCaster Pro into my ATEM. All those files will be available in a Google Drive. The link's going to be in the description of that video, and that should launch within the next 24 hours, because, again, it's done. I was just previewing it one more time to make sure there's no typos, and that should be a fun video, because last week's live stream gives you audio samples, but it doesn't give you the samples directly from the WAV files. So all of those WAV files will be available in a Google Drive, and you can request those the same way from the link as you're going to be able to request to join next week's Zoom call by emailing me, requesting them if you already have my email, or in the contact page on my website saying that you want those videos, or in the chat below the video, comments below the video when it uploads. So, okay, hopefully I'll see you guys next week at 4 o'clock. Hopefully you hit the like button to help me get this video out there. If you didn't subscribe and couldn't chat with us, I hope you'll subscribe and join me. If you're watching this after it was live, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy some of the things we're learning tonight, and I hope that you will join me as well. If you listen to this early enough, you'll join me by coming to that Zoom meeting as well, because everybody's invited, and I will be monitoring it, and we will have a guest, and it'll be a lot of fun next week, seeing the New York skyline from the top floor in downtown New York City. That should be amazing. So until next time, I am Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios. You guys have an amazing night. It worked.